Hello, and welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host, Aurora, licensed life coach and companion on this beautiful journey called life. I hope you feel good. I hope you feel supported and safe, full of energy, inspired, motivated. And if you do not feel 100% yourself right now, I hope that my podcast can bring you value, can bring you back to yourself, remind you of who you are and what you're made of. You are precious, you are unique, you are needed in this world. We need you to step out there and to be your most authentic self. Today I want to talk about International Men's Day and men's mental health. Maybe some of you know that November 19th is International Men's Day. I looked it up a couple years ago because I realized that International Women's Day, I think it's March 8th, is being celebrated more and more. And I was wondering, what about International Men's Day? And who celebrates International Men's Day? I felt pretty alone this year, I must say, with my posts. I got a lot of great feedback, but I didn't see anybody else posting anything about a Men's Appreciation Day. And yeah, long story short, I feel this is where our healing as a society for humanity has to start. If we want to become more resilient in the future, if we want to enjoy solid, nurturing relationships with each other, we have to learn how to celebrate one another. We have to celebrate ourselves, and we have to get to a place of healing where we celebrate others. And if we still have a hard time celebrating men, there is a deep issue because I don't know how and where to begin. But if we are still resentful, if we are still hurting because of past pain, disappointment, trauma, how can we move on as a whole and build a future that is resilient to stress, resilient to environmental changes? I don't think it's possible. If we don't do the basic work of healing and learning to understand each other, what are we actually doing? Like, why do we still get married? Why do we still get engaged? Why do we put babies and children through the stress of two people being together, but actually not really understanding each other and resenting each other? Why do we think that this is a good path to be on and we keep going even though we see lots of sickness, lots of suicide, lots of depression? And this is where I want to step in and start creating a space where we can have conversations that reveal the trauma, that put everything on the table so that we cannot live in denial anymore. We live with our spouse or partner without even really knowing them. We see that they conform, they adapt, they sacrifice. But do we know what's going on deep within our spouse or partner or friends if we are single? You don't have to be in a relationship to notice this. It is how you relate to the people around you and what you feel triggered by that I could be very easily pointing out where you still need healing and growing. Right? If people feel that International Men's Day is not a good day to celebrate the men in our lives, what are we trying to do here? Like, it is as if you were trying to not see 50% of our population. I don't know if there's exactly 50% of men and women out there in our society making 100%. But I think you know what I mean. And in the future, I want to also refrain from talking about masculine toxicity and feminine toxicity. Let's just call it full-on toxic behavior and shit attitudes. But let's not attach it to a gender anymore, because there's so many men out there who also suffered from the patriarchy and from toxic leadership, that if we talk about toxic masculinity, I don't know, I feel it's not timely anymore. Same goes for toxic femininity. It has nothing to do with being a female when you manipulate people, when you try to hurt people. You know how you say that in English, through the back door. No, you don't say that in English, but in subtle ways, right? Passive aggression, controlling the other, and whatever else we come up with to hurt people in very subtle ways. We have to put everything on the table and look at it and sort through it and be more honest with each other and tell each other what's okay, what's not okay. And we have to, in order to become aware of that, know ourselves better. And this is another very big, heavy thing that I'm so persistent about. The more you know yourself and your body and your sensations within your body, the more you can tell if something is right for you or something is off. I had a situation here recently where a friend of mine was weirdly, inappropriately touched by a member of our community. And instead of her saying something to his face, she just like squirmed away and walked away. And I saw it from afar, and I could see that she felt so uncomfortable, and I could see that he was so freaking unaware of what he had just done. And that's just a small instance where it doesn't matter which gender is being addressed here, but she decided not to say anything and to just move away. And he just wondered, oh, why is she moving away? And then they started talking about something else as a group. And those are just these little things that I notice that I feel, fuck, we have to start talking about this without blaming, but with the intention to raise awareness. If that woman was fully aware that this man was making her feel uncomfortable, making her cringe inside, and she was just to say, hey, you make me feel uncomfortable. This guy could be made aware of it and would not do this anymore in the future to her or to other people, right? It's not about shaming and blaming an individual because we want to think the best of a person and think that they just don't have the awareness. But we need to become aware and honor how we feel first. And you can just do that if you know yourself, if you listen to yourself. And in order to do this, you need to make space and time. You need to sit in silence at times and observe yourself. Observe your thoughts, observe your body and how you feel. You need to tune into your body because your body is like an antenna that absorbs stuff from the environment and processes it, and then thoughts and feelings come up that then influence how you behave, how you think. And if you use your body wisely as a tool and learn to express how you feel, I promise you, you will have the honor to enjoy a more authentic life attuned to your purpose and to what you're meant to do here in life. A lot of people right now feel lost, especially after COVID, after being forced to sit down and to be isolated from others, from distractions. Of course, we learned to distract ourselves in different ways when we were in lockdown, but we were forced to think about our next steps. Are we in alignment with our job, with our relationships? Are we on a good path? And a lot of people realized, fuck, I'm not on a good path. I'm engaging in this work for the wrong reasons. I'm not living up to my potential, and I want to live up to my potential now, but I don't know how. It just feels wrong where I'm at right now, and I don't know how to make changes, but I know I need to make changes. And where you can start if you're in that space right now is to start connecting back to your body and to sense when something that you do feels off and when something that you do feels super awesome. And then follow that feeling and notice how your life can change. At the same time, I want to say, if we always follow the feel-good path, the path of least resistance, it is not necessarily going to get us where we want to end up, because we're little animals, creatures of habits, and we're sometimes very lazy and sometimes very indulgent and just want to have the candy and the couch and the Netflix. And that feels awfully good, but it's not going to get you anywhere. Sometimes you will have to step into discomfort in order to live a life true to yourself. And this is also where coaching can step in and help you see what is the discomfort that is good for you, that you're meant to embrace, and what is the discomfort you're meant to avoid and clear out of your life. But you see, to be clear with yourself, to know what you need and want in order to live a life very authentic to yourself, you need to start with you. And going back to Men's Mental Health and International Men's Day, we need to embrace our feminine side and our masculine side. We have to make peace with the men in our life, with the caregivers, with the people that we look up to, in order to move on. We have to let go of resentment. We have to embrace healing and uncomfortable conversations if we want to move on in society and become stronger as an individual, but also as a community. You have both inside of you. And if you learn to embrace your masculine side and your feminine side, your very driven side, assertive side, but also your loving, nurturing side, your protective side, when you reconnect these both energies inside of you again, then you will be able to make peace with the people around you. You will be more forgiving, more loving. But until then, we have to look at ourselves, and we cannot point the fingers to other people who are not ready yet to do the healing, but we can notice in our own behavior, in our thought patterns, where we are at. What triggers you when I say, I want to see men being praised, I want to see men being acknowledged, I want to see men being put on a pedestal for a little bit, if it's just one day, and to see all the good that they're doing in this world. And the others are going to fade away. The other people that are in leadership positions right now and not doing a good job, we're just not going to give them any more attention. But we're going to put the attention on the men that are heart-driven, that did the work of healing, and that are very good role models there for future generations. All right, I hope this was not too messy. I feel I was all over the place today. But this message comes from the heart, from a deep desire to bring healing to this world, to bring comfort and purpose and love. I'm always grateful to receive feedback. If you resonate with what I say here, or if it helps you, please leave a review or a rating. A 5-star rating is always awesome. And share this episode with people that you care about. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Lots of love. Until next time.